Mr. President, the average Social Security benefit today is just $14,000 a year. And as someone who will be the next ranking member of the Budget Committee, I intend to do everything I can, not only to oppose vigorously any efforts to cut Social Security, I'm going to do everything that I can to expand Social Security benefits. And, in fact, the best way to expand Social Security is to ask the wealthiest people in our country to pay more into the system by scrapping the cap on income that is subject to the Social Security payroll tax. Mr. President, as you know, right now, a billionaire pays the same amount into Social Security as someone who makes $117,000 a year. You got a multimillionaire here, somebody's making $50 million, somebody's making $117,000. They both contribute the same amount into the Social Security Trust Fund. This is regressive, this is unfair, this is absurd. If we lifted this cap and applied the Social Security payroll tax to income above $250,000, not $117,000, but $250,000 a year, we could not only extend the solvency of Social Security for decades to come, which is what we want to do, but we could also provide the resources necessary to expand Social Security benefits. And that is exactly what we should be doing, and that, in fact, is what the American people want us to do. Mr. President, an August 2014 poll by Lake Research Partners asked likely voters if they support the idea of, quote, increasing Social Security benefits and paying for that increase by having wealthy Americans pay the same rate into Social Security as everybody else, end of quotes. And interestingly, this is what the poll found. 90% of Democratic voters said they support the idea, and 75% strongly support that idea of lifting the cap. 73% of independent voters support that idea. 55% strongly support it. 73% of Republican voters support that idea. 47% strongly support it. So there is, for that idea, enormously strong support across the political spectrum, Democrats, Independents, Republicans. Mr. President, sadly, despite this overwhelming support for expanding Social Security, the CEOs at the Business Roundtable is the organization representing the largest corporations in America. They came out with a plan last year which does exactly what the American people do not want to do. American people want to expand Social Security, and the Business Roundtable came out with a plan that would increase the Social Security retirement age from 67 to 70 and severely cut the COLAs, cost of living adjustments of senior citizens and disabled veterans. Mr. President, the Congress and the Senate here have got to make a very fundamental decision, and that is, do we listen to the American people who are hurting today, to seniors who have worked their whole lives but who just cannot get by in what in many cases are meager and inadequate Social Security benefits? Do we listen to them? Do we stand up for and with the people who helped build this country, who worked the farms, who worked in our factories, who served us in the armed forces? Do we stand with them and expand Social Security, or do we listen to those on Wall Street and corporate America who want to cut Social Security benefits and in some cases want to privatize Social Security? This is a huge issue for tens of millions of Americans. And, Mr. President, I intend to do everything that I can, not only to resist cuts to Social Security, but to do everything that we can to expand Social Security benefits for those seniors and disabled vets who desperately need that expansion. And with that, Mr. President, I would yield the floor.